Welcome to the channel, everyone. Well, today is the day, guys. Gonna get some paint on this frame finally. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use some the POR15 on this. I'm gonna use the chassis stuff. I'll show you what I got in a second. I'm gonna do that because there's still rust on this frame. This is a really solid frame, but I can't get all the rust off this frame. I could sandblast for days and there'd still be a little bit of rust here and there. So I didn't want to just spray it with epoxy and then have it rust later on down the road. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to go with on the frame here. Okay, so this is what I decided to go with, the POR15, the direct to metal rust preventative paint. This is chassis black. I got a gallon. That's probably way more than I need. But to go with that, I actually picked up a spray gun. And I'm wanting to spray this to get myself a really nice, like a factory finish. Because like I said, the frame is really good shape. There's hardly any pits anywhere, nowhere that shows anyway. So I'm hoping to spray this, I think, along with the stuff. I got some thinner to thin this down with, to shoot it through this gun. So I haven't really decided exactly what I'm doing. I'm trying to come up with a game plan right now. But this is what I've got, and this is probably what I'm going to use. So once I get a plan here, get the frame cleaned up. I got to wipe it all down because I've been sanding on it. Okay, so it's not going so well with the POR15, guys. I did a little test here on the motor mounts and stuff, and I brushed it on, and I'm not liking that at all. There's runs on it. I mean, I was real careful, and I brushed out all the runs. I tried to stay on top of them, but apparently it ran anyway. You probably ain't gonna be able to see it, but it probably looks decent. I mean, it's the first coat. It probably looks decent on camera, but in person, this is horrible. I mean, I guess if you're brushing this over rusty, crappy metal, it might look better. But when you got nice metal and you're trying to keep it nice, yeah, this ain't gonna work. Yeah, brushing ain't gonna work. So I'm gonna have to go to plan B, and I gotta figure out how to spray it. So yeah, brushing, I wouldn't brush. You probably can't see nothing on this side. Yeah, I wouldn't brush this stuff on nothing. Like I said, unless you don't care and you got junky, rusty frame and you just covering it, okay, but it's not gonna work for the quality that I want at all. There's also, you can see little, it's not gonna focus. There's like little pinholes happening or something. I hope that goes away, because if I spray it and it does that, it still ain't gonna look very good, even if it's flat. Okay, so I've complained enough. I gotta go to plan B, see if I can't spray this stuff. Okay guys, so it's actually been a few days, and I've got my frame painted, and I've got these pieces here for the frame painted, and I don't have any footage of actually spraying the paint because I was really struggling with that cheap paint gun. that I got. And I was really disgusted because I ran the paint pretty bad on the frame here. And what I ended up doing was I let it dry for a day. It takes like 3-4 days or something for this POR15 to dry. So I just let it dry for a day, and I went through on the outside rail, and I sanded with 320 grit, tried to sand some of the runs out, and I've got most of them hidden pretty good. Overall I'm happy with this. If I could have gone back in time, I would just use my normal gun to spray this. I was worried I was going to wreck it with this POR15. Everyone says that you get it on something and it's never going to come off, and I was afraid of my $300 some paint gun getting clogged up with POR15. But if you clean it up with lacquer thinner, I just use lacquer thinner, it cleans out almost easier than some of the primers that I've used. So I wish I would have used my good gun from the beginning, and then I wouldn't have had any, I don't think I would have had any runs. But you know, I actually the factory paint that this had on it had some runs in it, and you got to remember what I'm building here. I am not building a show truck here. I just want a really nice daily driver quality. This is actually probably, I mean, I'm doing really too much, you know, for that, a daily driver. But I don't know, this is what I want to do. So it's fully flashed now. I believe this is what it's going to be. It's a little shinier than what I was wanting to go, but this is probably pretty darn close, you know, to what it would have been from the factory. It's like a semi-gloss, I would say. Definitely isn't gloss, but it looks pretty good, guys. And from what I hear, that POR15 is super tough. You know, I just got done spraying this earlier today, and they say it takes maybe 3-4 days for this to get super hard. So gonna have to wait probably for that until I start reassembling this. But yeah, I wish I could have got some footage of me spraying this, but I was just struggling too much, trying to figure out that gun, and I should have just used my normal gun. I use my normal gun, and I have a big tip, a 2.0. Those of you that paint know what that means. It's for spraying thicker paints, thicker primers. So the gun's set up to shoot thick stuff, and it actually did an excellent job spraying this stuff. Like I said, I wish I would have done it from the beginning, and I think I would have had what I would consider a perfect paint job. You know, right now if you look for the runs, you'll find some runs in it. But like I said, even the factory had some runs in it. So I ended up putting 3 coats on this thing, and that's because of all the different angles and everything that this frame has, especially those cross members and the leaf spring mounts and cab mounts. I just felt 3 coats gives you a good chance of getting all those angles coated. So that's what I did. I think they call for 2 coats. I did end up thinning the POR15. I used their thinner. I didn't thin it a lot. You're not supposed to do it. I think they say like 5% only. So I didn't thin it a lot, but I did thin it some to get it through my gun a little easier. So I guess, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Now finally can start going the other way. Start assembling this for good. I got to paint some more things. I got a few pieces I got to paint. Rear cross member and transmission cross member and stuff like that. But so I guess, guys, stay tuned. Get some more parts on this thing. I'll see you.